everyone, myself back to the YouTube channel, back for the next episode of Waterloo Road. I'm aiming very much so to get Waterloo Road season 1 done this week, with it only being 8 episodes, and it's episode 4 today, the halfway point of the series. And of course, if you've checked out the previous episodes, hope you're enjoying them. Hope you've been enjoying the episodes yourself. Of course, we're currently going to be doing the early seasons until the new episodes return. But of course, we aim to get these 200 episodes done as soon as possible. And of course, subscribe. And like as always, if you are new to the channel, spoilers ahead if you are not up to date. And of course, enjoy the video. So, the big point of this episode, Lewis, Janice, and Ahmed, I believe his name was, the Asian lad who's been helping Lewis and Janice out with their maths slash or English and French. You had the whole Tom, Lorna, Izzy episode, as per usual. A bit of Chloe in there, and a bit of Jimmy. So mainly a lot to do with like Tom and Izzy and like all the branches coming off them. So what did I think of an episode? I think of an episode as a whole, it was a decent episode. I think for me, the Waterloo Road episodes are way too long. It feels like you're coming to the end of the episode at one point and you think, oh, there's still 20 minutes left. It's like, I think when Jimmy departed the episode, I think there was like 20 minutes left still. But I think that was justifiable because obviously he gave the money during like the scene between Izzy, Chloe, and Mika at the end. So that was fulfilling. In that time, Lorna and Tom went their own ways by Lorna going to her mother's. And then obviously you had the scene between Izzy and Tom, who's like, Izzy, I want to stay out of your life. Tom's like, I'm just heartbroken by your betrayal of not being honest. And that's what I'm saying, for the early parts of this episode, you had Lewis, his sort of betrayal from Ahmad, who was also helping Janice out. They're all trying to get more house points by cheating on the homework. Andrew's constantly second besting himself, second double you know what I'm saying. He needs reassurance basically that he's doing well. Kim's coming round to his ideas. Jack is trying to support him as best as possible. But I think this episode turned into one of those ones where it seemed very chaotic. It was a great episode, but like I said, heartbreaking. I think here's the thing. Tom found out too quick. I think maybe the next episode should have been perfect for him finding out about the abortion. I don't think there being like a week's gap and pretending like she needed time off work because the baby was dead. I think all the emotion was lackluster in this episode, bar the scene where he was obviously crying in the cubicle after he'd been told that it was an abortion. And I don't think it was just that got to him. Warner had lied, it was an abortion, and Izzy had lied as well. So you've all these factors going against him, and you're thinking, what has this man done so bad to deserve everything that's going on at this current moment in time? Yes, he kissed Izzy, but that is literally the only thing he's done at one point. And actually, no, I think Izzy kissed Tom, but obviously they were confessing their feelings for each other. I think these three, they are the ones carrying the show in many ways with the storyline driven. But I think it's going on for fucking ages. And I've just checked like the bios and previews and stuff for all the way up to episode 8. And the fact that the relationship aspect of them is still going on. I think the build up for Tom has been coming. He was eventually going to have a mental breakdown with everything going on. So I'm genuinely not surprised by that. But I think as a whole, I think, Lewis is a great villain, if you will. Janice is your bitchy girl. Her response to Kim and Andrew was like, "Why did you feel the need to cheat?" She was like, "I'm just thick. I'm just thick." Andrew was like, "What?" But I love how ditzy she is, how just straightforward she is, how out there she is. Um, Lorna's character, I will never enjoy on my screen. I think she's never had a good moment, and I'll always say this: you always need redeeming moments for every character. Jack can have bad moments, but he'll always be a nice guy. Steph is nice at times, but she's doing all this stuff with coursework to make sure her class passes, to make sure she's not becoming across as a bad teacher. You've got, um, like Lewis throwing the brick at the end. Can they prove that it's Lewis? No, but you've got the threats, you've got the emotion, you've got the storylines. And for me, the Chloe and Dante thing is dragging on a bit. It feels like it's dragging on because we've had 4 hours worth of content and it's just been scattered in between. Chloe's now going to confess. Dante's now not wanting, sorry, now wants to confess. And I've seen from the preview of next week, he's now going to go against that. It's so back and forth, and these are the things with soaps. You're going to get storylines that sort of drag on for ages, and then you think they've been concluded with Laura leaving, but they're going to continue. We know there's still some stuff there for Tom and Izzy to iron out. Chloe and Mika have now come a bit closer to the mum now that they know that Jimmy wasn't paying for like child benefits and that sort of stuff. Chloe's now made things worse with her mum because she's confessed that she's going to admit that she's admitted to be the one that's driving. And, it's you got to keep going. What are the next storylines? Kim and Andrew, now that Andrew knows Kim is now single and it was her brother who was constantly being mentioned. The house point system, I think, is a really cool addition to the show. Maybe they'll bring that into the modern day. I think it's a really cool aspect. But I think they need to be showing signs that the kids are willing to actually earn house points rather than just cheats. I think that's definitely something that's on the horizon. Is Steph and Jack's relationship over? I have no idea, but you can say that it's definitely lingering in the air. And maybe there's still something there. For me, the kids, there isn't really many kids to focusing on. It's just Lewis, Janice, Ahmed, Chloe, and Mika. Chloe barely ever appears unless it's with a Dante. Mika never appears unless it's to do with family aspects, which don't always happen. Janice has been in the background for the past couple of episodes, the past episode, and she was in obviously the limelight in episode 2, and then she wasn't really in episode 1 massively. But and then teachers, Grantley, to say he becomes one of the most popular and famous people on Waterloo Road, he's barely in this episode or the previous episode. He don't really do much. He has a couple of conversations in the staff room, but it's Andrew, Jack, and Kim, and then Izzy, Lorna, and Tom, and then Steph and Estelle are sort of just thrown in the middle doing bits and bobs. So as cast goes, it's an okay cast. I think it's got enough characters to battle the storylines. I think some of the storylines are coming off very repetitive and they're just constantly appearing over and over again. As I said, even though it's 4 episodes, it feels like you've watched like a million episodes because of how long they're on for. The vibe of the show is so much better than the new series. I'll always say that. I think the pacing could be a lot better, and I think they need to add a few more new storylines in because it's discipline, it's family issues, and it's troubled youth. I think mainly at the moment. So we'll see what happens with Lewis and the whole brick situation. We'll see what happens with Chloe and Izzy and whether their relationship will be strained. And of course, we'll see what happens with Laura, Dante, and the other characters going forward. Let me know down below your thoughts on this episode. Did you think it was better than the previous ones? I think the last one was one of my favorites. This was definitely a decent one. I think consistently, having Jack and Andrew on the screen is one of the best factors because they are two of the best, if not the best two characters in the show. And I just think we need a bit more from Chloe and Mika rather than just being about, oh, I'm going to jail. I mean, Mika needs to do a bit more because she don't really do anything but stick up for Jimmy 90% of the time, but not now, considering she knows how he is. But of course, nevertheless, there's a lot of storylines to be dealt with, wrapped up, and sort out by the end of the season with only 4 episodes left. So you guys let me know down below in the comments your thoughts on this episode. And of course, we'll be back on more Waterloo Road hopefully tomorrow. Stick around for that. And of course, suggest any more Waterloo Road videos you would like to see. Of course, I've already had suggestions, as I've mentioned in the past videos. I'll be getting around to them at some point. Just a bit chaotic with scheduling and timing at the moment. But of course, see you next one. Goodbye.